Hey, hey, hey. We are back for our last and final day. Sorry, y'all. I hit the go laugh button. I was chewing a gummy bear. So we are back for our last and final Get Booked and Busy interview series. And we're closing out with feel like we were just saying, it's like a high school reunion. We never met in person, to be honest with you, but we've been online, internet, social media buddies. I don't know, for years,
For
basically.
years.
We have a lot of mutual social media friends. So I'm super excited to close out this 9 day, y'all. We've been rocking for 9 days straight. So excited to close out this 9 day interview series with my girl, Sygie. I'm going to go ahead and just introduce her so you all can know who she is and how you can follow her. And we're going to dive right into it. If this is your first time watching, this is because the audience has been growing like every day, which is really, really amazing. Thank everybody for sharing this out and the replay watchers as well. So, my name is Erica Hudson. I am a systems and income strategist. I work with impact driven service based womenpreneurs and I help them go from overwhelmed to optimizing the back end of their business structure. So today's guest, our last and final guest, is my girl Sygie. She is an e-commerce, um, she teach e-commerce brands to build, market, and manage their online businesses with systems, my favorite, and automations, my second favorite. Welcome, CG.
Hello, Erica. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
You are so, so welcome. So, um, we already like the prep and everything. Now, don't forget, you all put your comments down. I'm gonna have my phone because on my personal Facebook page, I can't see the comments on StreamYard, but I will have my comments up on my page. And if you're watching from Impact to Increase page, you definitely can leave your comments there. No comment left behind. All right. So let's get into it. So, CG, how are you, love?
I am doing pretty good. Like I was telling you before we started, fresh out of soccer practice, coming in the house and jumping to it.
Just doing what mompreneurs do,
Just
right?
doing it. Right.
Just getting to it. Just getting
Right.
to it. So tell us a little bit about your business and the types of clients. Now I know I gave an introduction. Tell us a little bit more about um your e-commerce teachings and trainings and stuff like that, and a little bit about the clients that you attract.
Right. So basically, Erica, I have two sides to my business. I offer done for you services, and then I offer what I like to call done with you services, which are coaching programs. My done for you programs are mainly for, you know, high achieving multiple six figure, seven figure brands that
Mhm.
need that online support. Either they have a brick and mortar business and they're trying to transition, or they are wanting to transition to e-commerce, or they have an e-commerce platform that needs more automation systems because they're spending like all day on the computer. That's where I come in. And then on the other side, when we talk about done with you services, I teach growing brands. I like to say not necessarily new brands, but growing and scaling brands how to
Mhm.
automate and create systems in their business. Because most of the time, I primarily work with women. These women are solo entrepreneurs, so they're getting prepared to incorporate a team into their business. So we go ahead and get everything automated and systemized. So when someone does come in, they're not coming into chaos.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's I live. I live. Okay, I live and I stand. So something that I haven't really talked about in the other interviews that I'm going to bring up here, just because we can talk about it all night. The word it's a 5 letter word that is being overly used, and I feel like in some ways underappreciated, and that's the word scale. Everybody's scaling. Everybody want to
And
scale.
that's what
Everybody trying to go from $2 to scale. Everybody trying to go from working at their kitchen table to want to build a 5 team for 7 figure business. Everybody want to scale.
who yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. What are
Let's
some
talk
things
about
that you
that.
look for? Let's talk about that because sis, just because scaling look cute on social media Do you really have what it takes to scale? So let's get into it. So when you are talk about booking clients, right? So when clients book with you, with prospect clients book with you with the intention on getting assistance with positioning and setting their business up to scale,
Mhm.
do you ever run into a situation where you know in your heart of hearts you're not ready for this influx of volume that once I do this, you're not ready for the influx of volume that's going to come in that is going to allow you the ability to scale? Have you ever had that situation?
Absolutely. And I kind of nip that in the bud in the beginning through the intake process, because I believe you have to grow a business before you can scale a business.
Talk about
Um,
it.
so there are a few things, that you can check off the box just by having a conversation with someone to know
Mhm,
whether they're in the growing stage or the scaling stage. Because a
mhm,
lot of times people now, I don't know if it's because of social media or whatever, but people are wanting to skip over that sales and marketing portion of growing the business. And the first couple of you have to have sales to scale, for one. So if your business is not creating consistent income, you don't have proven results, you don't have a market that is in you don't have demand for your product or service, then there's nothing to scale. So sometimes
mhm,
we have to go, take a few steps back and work on that foundation. And in my course, Go Digital, those are the things that we work on. Not
mhm,
necessarily how to market on social media, but the things that you need. So when you do sell on social media, it's more effective.
mhm. I
Because have
love
you
that.
ever, I've actually, people will put call to actions in there, and I'm like, oh, I like this. And then I click on the link, it's a broken link, or I DM them and I never get anything back. So a lot of people, like I said, they're missing those pit stops, those pit holes, and
Mhm.
dropping sales. So we have to make sure those things are ironclad first before we can even talk about scaling.
All right, so we talked about the intake process. So let's just dive right into the intake process. How long did it take you to fine tune your intake process, assessment process, discovery, whatever words you want to call it? How long did it take you to fine tune that and get that kind of like really iron tight,
I think once
airtight?
I once I narrowed down my niche, and wasn't really trying to serve everyone. I got really specific about the woman that I was serving and the problems that she had. How long did it take? When did I start? When do I start the clock? That's the question. You know,
When you first
when
start serving clients?
right.
My
So
number is 7. No shame. I'm not
that's what I'm
embarrassed to
like.
say. Like my
I just
number
love
is
that
7.
because Erica, honestly, I would probably say so because as we're growing into entrepreneurship, things change and you don't serve that particular person. Like I've always known I was serving women. Like that's pretty much been my thing. But
Mhm.
then I went through phases like, well, is she a new business owner? Am I helping people start businesses? And I just had all those questions. But it wasn't until I got clear through personal development, getting a business coach, all of those things, like developing my business,
Mhm.
developing my business, I it wasn't until then until I got my systems together. Not
Mhm.
before.
Mhm. I
Trial
love
and
that.
error.
I'll call it trial by fire because we just
That's
running
it.
like
There is
just.
no other way. There is no other way.
And I think that's why people don't appreciate the price point because not only, for those of us who have, college background degrees and things of that nature, um, they don't appreciate the price point because it's not only paired with like contextual teaching and structure from college or business school, but it's also paired with the trial by fire experience, right? So what took us weeks and months to learn just by trial and error and tears and loss of sleep at night just trying to get things right, we're able to fast track someone else's process and shrink it down to days or even hours. And they don't appreciate the price that comes along with that level of freedom and that level of speed and convenience. You know what I'm saying? So, which leads right into my next question when it comes. So, we're talking about getting booked and busy. We're talking about um, just things that we've gone through, lessons that we learned, all the things. So let's go right into what's one of your biggest lessons that you've learned with getting people to book on your calendar. That was a hard lesson.
Everyone won't like it, and it's okay. I can recognize if someone is my client or not by the resistance to book online. So
Book
in the
online as
past,
opposed to
oh, I've had clients because, like I said, I work with not only people online, but people that own brick and mortar businesses. And so
mhm.
my client is open to learning how to, um, my client is open to change. So I've had people that run a brick and mortar business that they don't want to touch a computer. They want me to call them on the phone and say, okay, what time? Let me look at my calendar. Like they want me to do that. So sending them a link was a little bit of, resistance. And in the end, it didn't work out because they were not willing to do anything technical, like at all. Come to find out. So that's honestly that was kind of that's a test when I send you my link. And if you have trouble, and not even, you know, I can teach you how to do it, but if you're willing to do it,
The resistance is the biggest piece.
the
Like you're gonna give
resistance,
me pushback
I have
out the gate.
because change scares people.
Yeah,
And with that, like I said, if you're not willing to try it, then you're not my client.
right. And I think that people, and so going, oh my God, you made just a great point. So going to, you know, change scares people when you're hiring a professional, a coach, consultant, strategist, whoever, whatever, to come in and course correct the direction of your business for the better. You have to know that change is going to be attached to that, a mindset change, a behavior change, change in process and execution and implementation. Change is going to happen in that. And so um, if people are resistant to, I don't mind working with people who are scared to change, but if they're willing to still go through it regardless, I'm okay. Like, oh my God, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm
Right.
okay with those people. But those will be like, well, can we do something? And then they try to give me options on other ways to do. No,
Yeah.
hit the button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't know how automation works. So I try to explain to them automation works by triggers. So if we break a trigger, something else down the line will not work.
Hmm.
And then I have to figure out, did you get this? Did you get that? Let me go back into, and so it created so much chaos in my business, which I hate. And that was the whole reason for me even falling in love with automation and systems to begin with.
Hmm.
So I had to figure out who was going to be running my business, me or them.
Oh, come on now. That's a word.
Yeah.
So who gonna drive the car? Me or you? Because
Yeah,
I'm
you're
the one that's
you.
paying the car note.
Yeah, because you drive that car over there, but this one right here, I got this one.
Right. I love that. All right. So one lesson was understanding and identifying the resistance early on to
Mhm.
to know, okay, this gonna be trouble and not good trouble. Okay, like this is gonna be some real trouble. What's a mistake that you've made that was really costly as you work to build up your appointment based business? A costly mistake. Because
I
I
would
always say
say,
there's no mistake like a paid mistake.
mhm. I would say changing systems too frequently and too immaturely, I would say. Um, trying to jump on the new thing, um, what works with someone, and then I get over there, I'm like, this is not what I need.
Mm-hmm.
because I just
Mm-hmm.
looked at one feature, but I didn't look at the whole scope of it. I would
I
say
was
just
such a victim of that. I was such a sucker for
and it
that,
starts
especially
to
like if
add
I
up.
follow big millionaires and stuff, and then they using all these differences. I'm like, oh well, I got to
Yes,
get that
I
system too.
definitely need
And
that.
I get this,
Like,
and I'm like, I don't need this system.
and
Or I'd be
the
like,
man,
why they you? And then I get the question like, why they using this system? You know?
yeah. So I
Mhm.
would say too many systems, or changing. You know, just trying to beat what is that? The FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
the next day.
FOMO.
That was
Hmm.
definitely like now. I It's hard for me to change the system. Even like
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
There's
It takes too much time because that costs money too. I gotta
with
rebuild.
me being such a systems tech nerd, I love to play around with the new kids on the block.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I love joining like different beta groups when they're like at the ground floor, getting early adopter access and entry and things like that. But I have some core systems that I'm just married to until
Right.
a new kid on a block comes along and they really top them in some, you know what I mean, like in a really, really major way. But I love playing with new kids on the block. I do. Oh,
Oh, I get it, definitely. But
I geek
I
out.
would say try them out first before you try to
Hmm.
transition your whole system.
Oh no,
Definitely.
I ain't moving the whole house just because a
I
room looked good. No.
try it first.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sygie, let's get into, oh my gosh, we can go all night on some different topics. Let's get into the your client fulfillment process, right? So how long did it take you to narrow down, not client fulfillment, excuse me, the actual call talk time? Um, I remember my freebie calls used to be like an hour.
Yeah, because you want to.
I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
girl, what was you doing? So how long were your, I'm gonna call them freebie calls, discovery
Uh-huh.
calls, and where are the calls now? Or
Right.
how long are the calls
So
now?
when I first got started, I don't know about you. You just you don't you just get on there like talk. You kind of do what you've heard to do. No structure at all. Just like, okay, yeah, I got something. Let's talk first, and then at the last 3 minutes, like, oh yeah, and
Oh
I have
yeah.
this thing. You want to?
You
um,
talked about everything but that, and then it take you
right? You
2 minutes
talk
to
about
talk about the real
yes,
thing.
and you have a dog and two goldfish and all of that.
Kids, schools, I know family members' names, husbands' names,
Right,
dogs.
right. You feel like that's your best friend before and
Yeah,
then you feel so sticky and sleazy when you have to put that. You want to buy something from me at the
right.
end?
I can have, well, it's
So
gonna cost this
it's
much.
gonna cost. Like you start
After
eating
they
baby
tell you how
first.
broke they are the whole time.
Exactly. So the thing is, by the time I get on the call with someone, it's basically just to take the payment or to confirm. Like we've had, I put more interaction up front by asking questions. I follow them on social media. I'm getting a gauge of who they are. I slid in their inbox to remind them of calls and stuff like that. Just kind of gauging them, seeing where they are, um, allowing them to cancel the appointment. Honestly, like if
Yeah.
I send out brochures to let them know, my price point, but before we even get on the call. So I honestly, I give them a lot
Uh-oh. There we go. Can't hear
back
you.
out, but really I
Oh,
do.
there you
Like
go.
you don't have to. This isn't a courtesy. You don't have to join the call if I don't serve you, if I can't serve you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how do you handle people who book a call and then don't show?
Honestly, I don't. I don't.
What do you mean?
I only for discovery calls. This is what worked for me. For
Mm-hmm.
discovery calls, I only there are certain time, 2 days out the week for one. They're not all day. You can't schedule a discovery call anytime, and if you can't get it during that time this week, you got to get it, the next week or the next week, whenever it's available. So if they don't show, I just roll to the next thing until the next call comes because I've
Mm-hmm.
already blocked out that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And what if they want to book again after they didn't show the first time?
I really, because like I said, I communicate with them so much before the call.
Mm-hmm.
I rarely have no shows.
Good. Good.
So I don't know if I ever had a situation. I've had no shows, but they just didn't show for, because maybe they noticed we weren't a good fit, or for a time, the value or the money
Mm-hmm.
situation. But I try to communicate, keep an open line of communication before we even get on the call, so it's not weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that strategy. So we're talking about getting booked in business and getting people on your calendar. So what are some things that you do in terms of strategy to get prospects actually on your calendar?
So, a lot most of my clients right now, like right now, I'm not taking done for you services right now because I just don't have the capacity to. And most of those clients are word of mouth or referral.
Mm-hmm.
As far as done with you services, which the coaching, freebies, lead magnets, really just putting myself out there as a resource,
Mm-hmm.
kind of letting people know the problem that I solve. And just in friend circles, you'll be surprised how
Yeah.
people talk. They're like, and sometimes it's so funny because people that don't do online like that, and that's primarily my clientele, like they're not really tech people at all for real. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, they don't do tech, so they can't even articulate what I do, but they're like, you need to call Sygie, she can help you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most of my are work most of my clients that I work with, we are in some type of circles. Either we're in some type of group together. I'm in a lot of clubs, account network. I'm in a lot of different clubs, so I know them through affiliation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. So when it comes to um so we talked about the intake form. We talked about the duration, like how long the calls are, lessons learned, mistakes. What would you say you wish you knew a lot sooner so you could have streamlined your process a lot faster?
Right. I wish I knew I needed a system faster. Um Jumping in, I was so focused on social media and cute graphics. All the
You're not
stuff.
alone. Trust me,
Yeah,
you
like
are not
all of
alone.
those things. Like I spent so much time on trying to attract, you know, I didn't know I needed it. Honestly, I just didn't know. Like people were telling me to post 3 times on Instagram, but they didn't say what to do after that.
After they actually believe what we selling, it's like,
Right.
okay, she posted every day. Let me click on her thing. Oh, snap! They click now.
Yes,
What I
I'm
do?
like, what
Let me go create
what
this
do I do
thing.
now? So I would just say like that bit for me, once I got because the attraction was coming easily for me. But when it came to the process and the systems, whew, Lord, like I was my own. I saw my own problem first. Like I was basically my first client because like being all the things, running a business, being a mom, supporting other people's businesses, and
Mhm.
trying to live in addition to everything else, it was a lot. Like some days I was like, I can't do this. I just want to get a job and
Yep.
be able to close my eyes, go to work. When I get off, I'm off. But so I had to incorporate those systems because if not, it was never going to work.
I love that. Okay, so this is so good. Um, have you ever had to, so we talked about like niching down, right?
Mhm.
We talked about fine tuning like your intake form, the questions and stuff like that. Have you ever had to switch your service
Mm.
after you realize the service I thought I wanted to deliver to people is not actually the service that I want to do? Let me add some things or take some things out.
Honey, yes, ma'am. All have done and will do because the customer creates the demand. Honestly, like I've had this is something else I learned too. Do think build it, build the shell, but don't necessarily stuff the bear yet. Because sometimes as the person that's providing the service, we can be so stuck on what they need, but we haven't
Hmm.
even asked them what they need.
Hmm.
So yes, I have changed. Well, not even necessarily changed the content, but the delivery
Hmm.
or the order I was doing it in and the order I was telling them to do it in. Like now that I do John Maxwell, a
The leadership.
certified like behavior trainer, do this
Hmm.
assessments and everything like that. Now the first thing I do when I work with someone and it's mandatory, we take a disc assessment so I can learn their personality, their
What's
leadership
your
style.
two highest letters? And I'll tell you mine.
I'm a DI.
I'm a DC. I'm
Okay.
99% D and 79% C.
Okay. Yeah. And see, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Details. It definitely does.
Yes.
That makes
Yep.
sense. So, um, because a lot of times, I mean, that's just sales and marketing too. You
Hmm.
sell them what they want, and then you give them what they need. So,
Yep.
yeah.
I love that. You you know how you can just look at some people or talk to some people and just know that they thoroughly enjoy what they do. Like I can feel you thoroughly enjoy what you do. Like, and I can tell that you ate a lot of meat and spit out a lot of bones so you can have joy and produce joy in what you're doing. And that's not always a really, really easy thing to tell on people. Like some people it's very forced, very like,
Right. It's
you
so
know,
funny you use that word because that is something I always say. I create joy. That is so funny that you say that.
get out. I didn't even know that.
I
I didn't even
I
know that.
say that very often because yeah, it's it's business stuff, but when I get to see like my clients will text me like I got to go to my kids' softball game today, or me and my husband going on vacation, and I didn't even have to take my computer, like those things there. Because what's the point of living if you're not gonna live like for
If you're not
real?
gonna
So
live.
yeah, I know a lot of people talk about, and I know we all want to make money. Trust me, that's what we're here for. But my overall goal is to create a better quality of life for my clients
Hmm.
because honestly, my target, talking about niche, they are very hard working women. They make plenty of money, but
Hmm.
they're working
Hmm.
hard for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're working hard, hard.
They working
Yeah.
hard. They working really hard for it. So the money is not something that I can make you like that's not something that attracts them because they're already doing it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
what I help them with is I create an easier way for them to make the money.
Hmm. I've had two other system and operations people on the Get Booked and Busy series, and in their own right, they build specific systems for specific applications and platforms. And we were just talking like one systems person to another, and it's this common consensus, that it's really difficult. It can be a challenge to translate system talk to the everyday common ear. You know what I mean? And not lose them in the message. So you say, and now I'm thinking about your niche market, and you said that they're primarily non-techie.
Yes. Imagine.
How that works is what the hell you marketing? Like
That's
what
why
you
I have to
saying?
start with that personality test, girl. That's why I have to start with that personality test so we don't kill each other.
Oh my
But
God.
no. So, and in the beginning, like I said, they have to be ready for change.
Mhm.
Because if you can only imagine if someone already does not know what to do, they don't know how to do it, and then they don't want to do it, it's like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. So
I'm
I
just
can,
like,
I'm up
whew.
for the fight. I know my clients, and I'm up for the fight when we agree to work with each other.
Mhm.
Um, we have to do a lot of mindset stuff as well because it's different. It's different for them to, and then again, these are women that they also have to get used to not working so hard. And I know that sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy. I think
I have to tell them it's okay.
it's okay. Yeah. And
Yes, it's okay.
now this is a good point that we haven't talked about in previous interviews. So let's just lean into this part for a second. I think it is a generational systemic mindset, right? That we're not doing it right if we're not doing it hard.
Yes,
You know what
yes,
I'm saying?
yes, yes.
Because going back to Sealy, Color Purple.
Color
All my
purple.
life I had to fight. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And this black cultural mantra, that we have to fight for everything that we have to have. And fighting is hard, right? And fighting is long. And part of that mindset shift is getting people to release the fight and say, you can work so much smarter if you would just give yourself permission to not work harder and allow
absolutely.
me into the process of not working harder. That's the hardest part.
Oh my God, Erica, I want to like put lean back in this chair and get for real with you right now because
Lean back.
listen, that's a conversation I had to have not only with them but with myself. Have you read what is the name of that book? You are
For
badass at making money.
no, 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 I haven't read that one. Mm-mm.
Okay, so I've read the book. Read
Mm-hmm.
the book probably 3 or 4 times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking with one of my friends. And so we were going to read the book again together. I'm reading it with her basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, you have to. It's so funny when you start teaching people stuff you learn. That it's funny how that works. So
Yep.
I was reading, doing the exercises. When you read the book, Erica, if you ever read it, you have to do the exercises.
Okay.
Like it's
Make sure you send me the info in the
yeah, I
the
will.
DM.
It's pointless
Yeah.
if you don't do it. So I've read this same book, like literally. So I've written in the book, I made notes on it, and me thinking I've read it, so I'm kind of skipping over it. And then it was one topic that it was one question that stuck out to me that day, that particular day.
Mhm.
It was, what did your parents teach you about money? And I
This is
was
my
like,
running theme every day.
yes. So here's the thing, right? I had already wrote down in the no it in the above it says something about how did your parents something about money, and I was like, oh, my parents are hard workers. Like that's something that I always like, I brag about it, like
But what they teach
my
you about money though?
this is what they taught me, that you have to work hard for money.
And long and overtime.
Yeah, you have to work hard for money.
And you have to
And I
give
didn't,
up your
well, it
life and
wasn't
your
until
dreams.
this was a couple of months ago. Until that day, I never thought that I had money, that was a money block for me, but it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we could stay here with it because these these generational money blocks that we didn't even know that we inherited from from our parents and from our grandparents. These are core decision factors that block us from pricing our services, that
Yeah.
block us from creating boundaries in our services, from that block us from having creating sound structure in our services because something that I'll say this, something that our parents and grandparents and going all the way back, something they did teach us about money that no one has taught us to learn yet, right? Again, this is something else that we're doing along with building a successful business. Something else that we're doing, trial by fire, is unlearning money. But the thing that they also taught us, without sitting us down and talking about it, was being emotionally attached to money.
Mm, yeah.
We are so, we as a culture, not, you and I, we as a
And we'll,
people,
yeah.
we are
We'll do
so
almost anything for
emotionally
some people.
attached to money. When we don't have it, it makes us angry, it makes us
Oh,
sad, it makes
girl.
us scared, it makes our chest tight, we can't breathe, we can't sleep, we crying, we overeating, we emotionally eating, all the things. Okay? If we have to make what seems like life or death decisions with a certain amount of money. Like, do I get groceries? Do I pay my rent? Do I put gas in my car? Do I pay this bill? Do I do a payment plan? Like, do I call? What lie do I tell the bill collector so I can get this pay extension? I'm saying we are. They taught us to be so emotionally attached to money that we have to have emotions tied into money that constantly flows. And one thing about reading, so Robert Kiyosaki, um, I'm in Jewel Tankard Mastermind, so the Millionaires Club, and
Okay.
so Robert and his wife, I want to say Janice, I don't think that's her name, but Robert and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Kiyosaki, they came in and did a private training inside of Jewel's master class. Phenomenal, his whole thing, get rich and die trying. Girl, that's 50 Cent. What is it? What's the book?
Rich Dad, Poor
Purple.
Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That
I stay
too.
hood
That
with it, right?
too.
Right. That's the, so his whole thing about teaching money and teaching about how, cash and the cash quadrants. And, one core thing, and even with, I call him Uncle G, but Grant Cardone, they all have this running theme of cash has to move no matter what. So take your emotions out of the movement of money, because it's gonna move with you or without you. It's gotta move. Cash has to flow, right? And I'm recently learning not to be attached to money.
Mm,
Like, I give money assignments, right? I tell money where to go and what to do. I,
right.
I attach it to things that have purpose and growth, right? But that's something that our parents didn't teach us.
You have
They
to
didn't
learn.
teach us
That's that
money.
mindset. Yes,
That's
that's
the
mindset.
mindset. That's the
And
mindset. Scarcity mindset is so real, and
money doesn't grow on
it's a
trees.
core. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Another
It's
one
a
that I didn't
core
even
cancer.
realize,
Hmm.
getting it out the mud.
Get it out the now. I stand by that. Like, I'm gonna get it out the mud, kid. Yeah, from nothing, literally from nothing. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it
I
gets to a point to where you cannot keep operating from this
in that
place of
mindset, right?
hustle and grind.
Right.
Now, listen, I'm all for the
Listen,
hustle.
let me tell you what made me
Okay.
realize that was a money block or
Yeah.
mindset block.
Yeah.
Listening to, I'm a podcast person. I read,
Okay.
but podcast interviews are my thing. So I was
Okay.
listening to Anthony Anderson
Hmm.
from
The actor.
yes, yes.
Okay.
He was talking about his son,
Hmm.
and his son did not want him to help him do something. He
To
was
go to
like,
Harvard, to get into Harvard.
yeah, something,
I,
yeah.
I, I think it was
And he
Harvard
was
or
like,
Hillman, one of them. Morehouse, somebody. Yeah.
right. So he was like, well, nobody helped you. Nobody helped you. So I want to get it like you. And he was like, but son, how much further would I have been? I didn't have anyone to help me. There was no one
Right.
to help me.
Right.
So he was like, that started the conversation of the get it out the mud. I think it was Breakfast Club. I can't remember.
Hmm.
But that started the whole talk about getting it out the mud. And before then, I never even thought about that being like a block.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, what's
It's
wrong
not,
with getting help? Other cultures do it all the time.
and that's such a
Like, it's
huge.
expected.
It's a huge ego thing in our culture to raise our hand and to ask for help because you're considered weak, you're considered helpless. Again, going back going back to that is that's a systemic thing that was put up on our race and put up on our ethnic group is that, you know, they gave us all the things so we can identify when we're looking weak or when we're looking small or when we're looking desperate versus other races and cultures can do the exact same thing and pool their money together and be a resource for each other's household and move families in. So, you know, it's a they're creating more financial breathing room for the generations to come. It's cool for everybody else except for us.
Yeah, look, it's so funny because it just made me think about. I think you did a reel the other day when it said something about silver spoon. You was like, "Well, I'm sorry, paper plate."
My bad, paper
I said,
plate.
"Yeah, my bad, paper plate." That was so funny to
Yeah,
me.
because we and all of this is tied back to getting booked. You know what I mean? Like because the actions that we take, the conversations that we have, the relationships that we build, it's all part of the mindset that we currently work
Yes.
out of, right? And you know, it's this mindset of I'm spoiling my kid if I am creating a life that is a little bit easier for them. I'm spoiling my kid.
Yes,
No,
yes,
I'm
yes.
not.
And that
Because one thing I always say, yeah, so like one thing I always say is I'm not trying to shield my children from going through struggle. I mean, in a perfect world as a mother, I would love for my kids to not to have to experience anything bad, but let's be realistic, right? We live in a good versus evil world. The enemy is out here running rapid 24/7, the same way God and the angels are. Okay. And so even in that, I know that they're gonna have struggle. They're gonna have, adversity and hardships and challenges. My thing is, I don't want them to repeat my same struggles.
mhm.
If you get out the mud, don't get out the same mud I was in.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so just because my children live in a two-parent household, that make them spoiled? No, retard. That's actually right.
Right.
That's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Or because my kids are afforded the opportunity to have more options and to have more choices and to have access to more things or more environments. That doesn't make them spoiled.
Mm.
Because do you call the white people and the Latins and the Indians? Do you call them spoiled? Why is it only when we do it?
Mm.
My bad, paper plate.
My bad, paper plate.
And I think it was Family Dollar Fork. Yeah,
Yeah, yes, yes. My bad.
I got so many DMs off of that reel. Like y'all are so funny.
That was hilarious, man. I watched it like 3 times back to back.
And what's crazy because my younger kids, they're 11 and 12, soon to be um 12 and 13. This is just a normal world, like the world that they're in now today. This is just a normal average world. Like if I even sat back and told them half the stories of like my struggle, they'd be like, that's not like you're making it up. Like you got that from a movie, did you? Like they wouldn't even be able to wrap their mind
They
around the
already feel
actual
like,
struggle.
oh,
A struggle for them is somebody trips over the internet box and the internet go out and there's no Wi-Fi on the phone. That's the struggle for them. And everybody come bum rushing into the room. What happened to the internet? That's the struggle for them.
right.
I'm okay with that struggle. Yeah, I'm
I
okay
can
with
see
that.
that. Right, definitely.
Yeah.
But when you look down, most of the time when you look back into someone struggling, I feel like anytime we're struggling with something, it's a mindset. It's mindset somewhere in there. So as coaches, as service-based professionals, all that, it's our job not only to provide the service, but also provide them the mindset they need to keep going.
Yep. I facts. I did a post on Facebook, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago, and I was very adamant in saying, don't call yourself a coach if you don't incorporate mindset into the transformation
Absolutely. It's
process.
part of it. It's part of
And
it.
that's why people say, I don't like to say I'm a coach because you don't want to do the mindset work. It's like literally no point of doing the process and creating plans for implementation work if you haven't shifted their mind. You know what I mean? So they can believe differently, so they can believe bigger and better. It's no point.
It's no
And that's
point.
what gives coaches a bad name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do agree. Well,
And I
as we
ran
get
from
ready to
that
wrap,
word too. I ran
huh?
from that word too, but that's what you're doing.
I don't mind now.
Yeah,
I
now,
mean,
but I ran
I'm
from it.
certified, and
I
then
wanted
I
to
got
call
I
myself
got the Holy
everything but
Spirit
that.
behind me, all the things. But
Right.
I that's the no lie, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, and people start hitting me up in my inbox. But that's the part I actually enjoy. I mean, I know I enjoy building systems and building out frameworks and processes. I thoroughly enjoy the mindset part. I love getting you to admit where you're broken and building from there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh, because I'm just like this advocate. Like you ain't finna be kept in bond, just sis, and still trying to get to this bag. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna
Yeah,
work. Yeah, let's
that's
cut this
good.
cancel out so we can get to it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
real good.
So we're wrapping up at the top of the hour. So I want to definitely be respectful of your time. I don't know what that chipping sound is in my ear. It's driving me
Probably.
crazy. Can you hear it? I hope you
I
can't
can.
hear it. You can't?
I can hear it. Uh huh.
Oh, you can hear it.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. My fan's not on. Um, but as we get ready to wrap up and close, first I wanted to say thank you so much for taking out your time, rushing home from soccer practice, being such a mompreneur. I really do appreciate that. Go ahead and just close us out with one tip that you can share with the audience so they can get booked and stay booked.
Right. So, my one tip would be
Can you hear me?
hire a professional.
You said what? The one tip what? Say it again. Can Can you hear me?
I
You
can't hear
can't.
you.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
I can't.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? You still can't hear me? Right as we get ready to
Can you hear
close.
me?
Really? Yep, I can
Can you
hear
hear
you. Can
me?
you hear me? Yep.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me? All right, let's do. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? That is so crazy. Hello, hello. All right, hang on. I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on. Okay. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? You still can't hear me? You can't hear me?
Mm-mm.
This is crazy. All right. Can you hear me now? Yeah?
Mm-mm.
Still can't hear me? Yeah, because I can hear on Facebook. Yeah, I can hear on Facebook. Say something.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can
You
hear
can hear
you.
me. I can't hear
Yeah.
anything you're saying.
And my sound is coming through on Facebook. Like my sound is coming through on Facebook.
Okay.
Ah, okay. So
Send me a message in the chat.
this is so funny. Share one last tip on helping people get booked and busy. Okay, you got it. This is so funny, y'all. We are literally just wrapping up. And right at the end, Y'all can hear me. I can hear her, but she can't hear me. I don't know what's going on, but we were wrapping up anyways. And I want to just thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us on this 9-day interview series journey. This has been absolutely amazing. Nothing has been repeated. Every day has been something different. Um, every day has been, I'm going to just inbox her on Instagram. Like every day has been a different outcome, a different aha moment, a different gem, a different nugget for sure. Um, so I'm really, really excited.
All right, Erica. I don't know if you heard me before. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, I got your message.
go to yeah.
One last tip on helping people get booked and busy. So what I was saying was, the tip is stay in your zone of genius and hire a professional to do the rest.
I love that.
Okay.
Stay here. Hold on. I
That's
love that.
it.
All right, you guys, you heard her. Stay in your zone of genius, stay in your lane, and hire people to do the things that you can't do or that you do not want to do. Listen, again, our masterclass is completely booked to capacity for tomorrow night. But if you are someone who know that you are struggling with the back end of your systems, you need to fine tune and restructure your online booking calendar, or you're sick of operating with text messages, inboxes, and emails trying to get people locked into your calendar, go ahead and text the word SMARTER. The number is going across the bottom of the screen to 414-240-8557. And I will be glad to hop on a call with you. And let's see how we can help you get and stay booked and busy. I also have a Mother's Day special coming out. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have everything up and running. So be on the lookout for that. Until next time, be a blessing to others and you too will be blessed. Take care.